The two most important shots in tennis are the serve and the return of serve. You can't start the point, you really can't win. But if you're at a higher level and you can't start the point effectively, you're going to struggle, especially on your serve. So what we're going to deal with today is how to become more accurate with your serve. There's lots of things that players don't think about or don't try. I'm going to try and introduce those things to you so the next time you step on the court, you can make the adjustments that will really help you become a lot more accurate. You have a really good motion and you have a very productive serve. It's just that your accuracy seems to disappear. I'm going to show you a couple of things to look for. When you're tossing the ball, going up to hit your shot, you're thinking about your target. You're aiming in a certain location. If you are a beginner and you're learning how to serve, and you're really struggling to find the court, you don't want to do anything special like jump up and hit the ball. You want to make sure that you start from a platform position. That's where your feet rest at contact in the wider stance position, and you serve from there. If you're really beginner, you want to start out by throwing the ball. If you cannot throw a ball to your target, trying to hit the ball with the tennis racket and become accurate is really tough to do. So you have to develop that feel for the throw because that's really what the serve is. It's a throw. Platform position, toss the ball, aim for your target. Don't worry if you miss. Just keep trying to make it simple. The key here is not to move a lot. So you're just going to get that toss located just out in front of you, a little bit higher than you can reach with your racket. So by the time you're there, you're making good contact with that ball. Where you point the racket face makes a difference. If you're pointing the racket face at the target, you're going to be okay. But if at contact, your wrist comes undone and your racket is pointing in different directions than your target, it's going to make it hard to be accurate. So you want to take your time, really find the ball, and go through to your target. If you're missing wide, aim a little bit more towards the middle of the court. That'll get your ball into the service box. There's a couple of rules to follow when you're practicing. You only want to aim for one target. You don't want to use multiple targets. Become proficient at hitting the one target. Once you're consistently hitting that target, or at least in that area of the target, then you know you have reached a competency that will allow you to be consistent. Stay practicing that till you can do it over and over without big misses. A big miss is about 4 or 5 feet from the target. All right. For stronger players, a big miss might be a foot. As you get better and better, that space will start to shrink. There are some other things to pay attention to here. If you're keeping your left arm up, it's going to keep your shoulders in the right position. If you drop that left arm, you're going to have a hard time finding your target because your shoulders are going to drop. It's going to leave you a little shy of contact. It means your ball is going to fly to different places based on whether the toss is too far in front of you or too close. This position will really break your serve. You want to make sure we keep that left arm up, go up and make contact with that ball. One of the techniques we use to help stabilize our toss and keep our left arm in the right spot if we're righties or right arm in the right spot if we're lefties is we go to our knees and practice our serves. Not going to serve very hard from this position. You're really just going to try and make good contact. So we're going to keep that left arm up, go through the ball. You can't chase your toss from this position. So if you toss it too far away, you can't swing. So when you're standing up, you could definitely try and jump in and hit that, which really wouldn't help your toss or your accuracy. The last thing fully developed tennis player with a fairly decent serve can do is make sure that you remain loose when you hit the serve. You don't want your arm to tighten and you don't want to muscle the ball. So keep it loose. Really try and focus on that contact. Left arm stays up. We're going to keep looking at the place where we're going to make contact. Should be able to find your target pretty consistently as long as your ball isn't wandering around too much. Again, I'm only serving from a very simple position, not really trying to launch myself at the ball, just trying to keep it simple till I can get my accuracy. Bad toss, you just don't hit it. So many players settle and try to hit that. We want a good toss. The point of accuracy is also consistency and it's growth. So as you work on your serve, you're going to find you can do other things with your serve, and aiming for one position really helps establish that. Most important thing you want to take away from this lesson is that there is a process to get better at accuracy. It's not just something that happens to some players. You can be better at your serve and you can have a lot of accuracy. Try to remember the highlights. You don't want to chase your toss. We want to make sure we keep our left arm up, and you got to be able to throw the ball to the target. If you don't have a good throwing motion, you got to work on that. Then develop that into your service motion. As you get better and better, you can start to hit the ball a little stronger. You're going to remember that if you already have a full motion, you're going to pay attention to how far away you keep hitting your target. If you're missing your target by a foot, you're going to aim a little bit over a foot, that same distance away from the target, so that you'll find your target. Stay tough.